world's ever known? I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm walking across it. And then they're like, I would not do that. I don't really leave my area of my house, actually, so I would not trust that. Approximately 12 people a year attempt to walk across America, like half of them make it. They don't die, they just like, they give up or they like find themselves or whatever. And a lot of cross-country people start in Lewis, Delaware, because people, they walk, but other people, they bicycle, ride a horse, some guy pogo sticked. It's like, all right, okay. It's one thing to push a baby stroller full of hiking gear and whiskey, but what are we gonna do? Skip it across the country?
Let's give it up for Jessica Watkins.
I leave on Sunday. I'm gonna start walking across America. Everything's fine. I've been training. I'm gonna be fine. It's like a 2-day, 8-hour wilderness survival class. I should be good. I should be good. I am feeling pretty strong about it. I quit my job. I've been a waitress for 10 years. What's up, waiters? You're not a waiter because you wouldn't be clapping. In 2014, I found myself feeling stuck.
Don't worry, I'm not recording, I'm just testing. You gonna miss me?
When people ask what you do, you say I'm a stand-up comedian, but what you know is that you're a waitress. And it seemed like throw Watch Across America in there. That's way cooler than just waitress. You know, you could put waitress third.
Merry Christmas!
We got the great kit. This is gonna be good.
A bunch of different people walk across the country each year. They do it all different ways. There's different trails, or you can just map out your own, which is kind of what I ended up doing. But I guess everyone starts with some plan. A lot of people are doing it for cause. They're like raising awareness, you know, doing something really giving for people and community. That's not why I did it. I did it for myself. In this era, you have to have more than just comedy. You need a shtick. You need your thing, your brand, or whatever. You need something to get noticed. So that was the plan. I was gonna leave everything in New York, as it were, pack up this cart, and head out on a walking comedy tour.
This is it. My first stop.
I'd do stand-up along the way, and I'd film everything. Then at the end, I would take all of that material and use it for my very first big comedy special. It didn't all go exactly according to the plan.
You want to find a flat piece of ground so you're not uncomfortable when you're sleeping. So it looks flattest over there. Yeah, see, you're natural already. And this is like the days in of tent sites right here. So, right.
We're actually learning this the day of.
I mean, I'm assuming she's camped before she decides to walk across America.
Well, that's what I would assume too.
Snap it in first.
Yeah, it's like I feel everybody's urge to want to help.
Oh!
All right.
We'll see you soon, Jess. We love you. I love you. You guys the biggest ball study woman I know.
Yay!
Had I ever camped by myself? No. But I had talked to people who had done it, and I read books, and I got the right shoes. I figured out how much water and food I would need. And I got bear spray, which was very important. And the plan was strong. Felt like I was doing the right thing.
It's raining.
Okay, I'm ready.
We'll put it in a safe place somewhere.
Alright, I got a safe place.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's going to be raining all night. Temperature's supposed to drop to 30 degrees. So I'm going to get up bright and early. 6 a.m. Start walking.
So the rain left, and I packed up my whole rig for the first time. And I walked to the ocean. I looked at it and I said, "See you later. See you on the other side." And I started walking.
I wonder if you feel like I do, doing all you can to be true.
The American Discovery Trail is a series of trails that goes from Delaware to San Francisco. It takes you anywhere from 6 months to a year to complete. And each day I would walk between 10 and 20 miles. It was gonna be a breeze.
Women walking, guys, yeah. People are very concerned that I'm a woman walking. We do it. Like, we do it. I don't know if you guys knew about it, but yeah, women walk. And sometimes they do it alone, even.
That was my first stop, and it went well. There were people there, and they were there to see me. That was exciting.
Like, so many people have done it. They did it with carriages and like buggies and horses. I mean, you guys have played Oregon Trail, right? Like, that shit was real. You know, I've got like a cell phone and solar panels. I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine.
You would just either sleep on the side of the road or you use different hiker, biker websites just to reach out to anyone in the area and see if I could stay the night with them.
So I've walked 1,000 feet roughly of the Appalachian Trail.
But he did hitchhike all the way to California.
Oh, there you go.
No, I hitchhiked a majority of it. It was really an interesting trip.
How old were you?
23. Right in the prime.
Aren't you afraid to be on the road?
Fucked up stuff can happen to you anywhere. Some people live in that. Every day they live in a situation where I can't let fear of like the unknown stop me from doing things, you know? And
Good point.
That's true.
it can happen to you any time. And I'm not gonna be afraid of, you know, being alone because that's the point of that. You know?
Don't you carry a big 357 Magnum in your back pocket?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, good.
Fuck with me.
That's good.
Dirty babe, like you told me, I was stepping to.
Everyone was so nice and so receptive to me and what I was doing.
Heavenly Father, thank you for the meal we're about to
But they were
receive.
also all pretty scared for me. They were worried about me being alone.
It's raining and really windy, super windy. I might blow away. But tomorrow is supposed to be good weather, and for the rest of the week it's supposed to be good weather, so if it just stays good weather for like 300 more days, it's gonna be a breeze.
I would walk for about a week, and then I had several shows lined up in DC. It was cool. I was finding this groove of what is it going to be like to walk across America. And And then I couldn't walk.
Not even a week into the walk, I started having severe knee pain in my left knee. And it was so excruciating. I didn't know what was happening to my body. It was very scary, and I just kept going and kept moving, and I made it to this campground. I just like pushed my cart over. I started setting up my tent, and this woman came over, and she just, she looked at me, and she was like, "There's not a baby in there, is there?" And I'm just like vigorously setting up my tent, like, "No, there's not. Okay, I can't feel my leg."
Could I have learned more about the proper way to actually walk or the right shoes to wear? Sure. Maybe I could have practiced one time with the cart full of things. My knee is hurt. I'm at this empty campground. And then this guy showed up, randomly. I guess he had heard from the park ranger that I was stuck there, and he brought me a care package. It had an orange banana and like 10 hard-boiled eggs.
And he was really cool, and he just said, good luck on your adventure. I'm gonna come back and check on you if you're here. He gave me the package, and he walked away, and then right before he left, he turned back around and he goes, "Don't trust everyone."
If I die, he did it. So now I'm hurting, I'm alone, and I'm scared. Thanks, dude. And I have this random fruit that I don't know if it's safe to eat or not. Just staring at it. And I've got these shows in DC I need to get to. So I took a ride. Got these big shows lined up.
By the way, I don't know if you guys have been to Delaware, but everyone has eggs in Delaware. Like everywhere I went, people were like, do you want some water or eggs? We have eggs. Just like everyone was with the eggs. I ate the eggs when in Rome,
It's a stage. This is kind of a show. It's like open mics, really. Small shows.
These shows will kill someday when they have a real punchline in there. Like if I get mugged or something, it'll be a good story, I gotta turn these things dramatic.
So at this point, I'm 5 years into doing stand-up. I'm usually performing 15, maybe 20 minutes. You're just building your set.
I'm killing, if you were wondering.
The knee wasn't getting any better. I'd done all this research on tendonitis. It felt like there was really no cure. So I decided to go the alternative route. Sometimes you just need needles in your body. And it actually worked. I think. After I did the show with the one person that was there invited me to do another show of his.
This girl's got a great story. She's going to tell you about it. But I felt bad that she only got to perform for, it was 3 or less people. Please welcome to the stage my new friend Jessica Watkins.
And there were more people there.
I've changed a lot. I've like morphed into hiker girl. Like I didn't just like casually wear this around 6 months ago, but now I don't give a fuck. I haven't showered in like 3 days. It's fine. Today I got acupuncture. Okay, I've never done it before. That shit fucking works, guys. Like I can walk now. It's crazy. So yeah, thank you. This set was actually just to tell you guys to go get acupuncture. That's why I'm here. Oh yeah. So I'm walking. That's what it says here. Okay, got that. That should help with that joke. Woman walking alone. People very concerned about women walking alone. I know, shocker, we do it. We walk. Women are walking these days, sometimes even alone.
That was a fun show. Luckily, I didn't talk about politics too much. No one likes to talk about that in DC. I'm learning.
He was feeling better. People thought it was kind of funny. I was ready to get back on the trail. Casino now starts in DC, and it meanders into the Allegheny Passage, and it goes to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the whole thing being like 300 miles. It's this hiker-biker trail, and I'm pretty excited about that. I'm gonna have to walk on streets, like roads where there's cars, and I'm not gonna have to worry about where I'm gonna stay because there's gonna be camping. Felt different. It felt like this is like the walk was really starting now. And then I met this guy, Dan. He also had walked across America, and he was a stand-up comedian.
Every person you tell is like, oh, you're a comedian? Tell me a joke. It's 80 degrees out. I just walked 25 miles. I'm sweating here. I stink. I'm not going to tell you a joke, okay? Just let me do my thing. So that would piss me off. And then the other thing is, oh, you're a comedian? Are you like Kathy Griffin? Kathy Griffin?
It did take him 7 years to walk across America, which is that's an accomplishment within itself.
You know, I can't guarantee that you walk 3,000 miles, you're going to find what you're looking for, because I don't know what I was looking for, but I didn't find it. So, good luck.
He was basically telling me, don't be afraid to quit. If you think about quitting, just quit. You know, this is about you, your journey, and fuck everybody else. I think he was just saying that because he wanted me to quit. So that he didn't feel like a loser, because it took him 7 years to do it. But I wasn't going to stop. I wasn't even thinking about stopping. I was feeling good. I was on this beautiful trail. I was definitely not thinking about quitting. Right then.
I've been doing a lot of camping, and it's very beautiful, but it's looked the same for a while. It just started getting better, actually, so. It always just starts getting better right at the end, you know? Then it's over. This is never gonna end, though. This is never gonna be over, because I've been on the road for over a month, and I've only gone like 200 miles, so it's gonna take like 12 years.
Slowly, the thought did start to creep in. What would it look like to quit? And I blame Dan for that. He's the one who gave me that idea. It's all part of his plan. There's no water there, so I'm totally out of water. I try to get my car down to the campsite, and it like falls all over, and I'm just like, fuck everything, good. I like get in my tent, like zip it up real hard. And I was really considering quitting. I'm just like, I want, like, what if I just stop now? You know, how far have I gone? And I did the calculation, I've walked like 100 miles. I'm like, all right, well, you can never go on Facebook again if that's the choice you make. So I decided to pull it together and keep going, and that is when I met a trail angel, Gary. he's got like a little knapsack. And he said, hey, are you walking across America? And I was like, yeah, I am walking across America. And he was like, I'd walk with you if you wanted. So we walked together for 10 miles, and I didn't think about the fact that I was walking. I was just talking with Gary. As we get closer to this town, I realized that it's gonna be almost impossible for me to get my cart up to this hostel that I'm gonna stay at that night. And Gary said he had a friend that lived in the town.
And he was like a little trail angel. He brought me joy.
And he calls his friend and says that he can go get his friend's truck, and if we fill it up with gas, we can use the truck.
I gave him $20. He said he'll be back. Sounds like a solid plan.
Gary didn't come, guys, all right? Gary never showed up. Okay, I'm not sure what happened to him. I'm still a little worried about it, to be honest.
I don't even know how it happened. He had a feather neck tattoo and a flip phone. The flip phone should have been the first freaking clue. Probably had candy in it.
Gary, where are you, Gary? I gave you $20.
If you would have just asked me for the $20, I would have given you the fucking $20, you know what I mean? Why would you do this to me, Gary? So upsetting.
I hope he got whatever he needed with that $20. Hopefully food for his family. I'm sure that's what he did. It was probably definitely not for drugs.
So I was like, oh yeah, I cannot trust just everyone, you know? I gotta really keep my bearings here. Just giving him $20 willy-nilly to strangers on feather neck tattoo? Like, ugh, what was I thinking?
So all of a sudden there was this like underlining new fear that I had. And it wasn't just Gary, even though that was there. It was realizing that there's a bunch of Garys out there. And it reminded me of different points in my life where I had trusted people that I thought I could trust, and that trust was broken.
I think it's hard to appreciate things when you're in it, you know, like when I was in New York, I couldn't wait to leave, and now I'm here. I would love to be back in New York. I'm waiting on Alejandro and Tiki. They're gonna be here any time now. It's been 5 weeks since I've seen them. 5 weeks today.
Alejandro and I met, it was a mutual friend's wedding. I was bartending, he was playing music. He invited me on a date. We got coffee and we went to the park and we got arrested. It was not for the coffee. That is not why. We were smoking weed, all right? And as we were riding in their car to the precinct to be booked, they were listening to this very conservative political radio station, and I was like, oh, what are you guys listening to? And the guy was like, oh, you guys liberals? Huh? Got a couple liberals in the car? I'm like, sir, I'm a stand-up comedian. He's a trumpet player. We clearly have no political affiliation. And then I was handcuffed to a bench, and Alejandro was in this jail cell, and we just talked for like 6 hours, and we got to know each other. It was a pretty cool first date.
Our relationship feels like home. But I didn't tell him about me thinking about quitting because it felt like talking about it would make it real.
My family.
It was like, felt like the only way to keep going was to not maybe acknowledge how crazy this thing is that I got myself into. Even this person who I felt the closest with, all of a sudden, I couldn't really tell him everything.
What do you think of your country so far?
We use a lot of plastic bottles and we throw them in the water. But so far it's been really beautiful. I've been on that trail which is like secluded. I'm ready to be in the world, meet people.
When they left, I was alone again. But I'd gotten a little re-energized from them and refocused on why I was doing this walk.
Made it to Pittsburgh!
Put your hands together for Jessica Watkins. Give her a big round of applause.
When you do stand-up, you're getting this energy from the audience. You're getting this energy from the crowd. And although I was feeling low at this point, and I knew that comedy could get me out of that.
I camp sometimes, like I've got camping stuff. Other times I do couch surfing. Do you guys know what couch surfing is? It's a website where you can, like a stranger opens up their home, you go sleep on their couch, and then you stay up all night thinking of all the different ways that they can murder you.
When I get up on stage and tell jokes, it's like exhilarating. And when you are used to doing that a lot, and then all of a sudden you're going weeks without that, it feels almost like a depression.
How are we doing, Pittsburgh? Cool. This guy doing origami? You doing origami over here? Is that what it is? Cool. That's weird.
No matter what else is going on, this moment on stage, it all feels good. And that's how it's supposed to work.
Oh, 30. You're all origami people. Is that what it is? I should have prepared more origami jokes. What's the deal with paper? Am I right?
There were some good shows in Pittsburgh. I felt like I was moving through some new material, some new thoughts. And then I made my way into Ohio, and it felt like things were kind of spiraling. Anything could be a comedy show. You just need some people to listen and someone to want to make them laugh. But ideally, you have a crowd that wants to hear what you have to say.
It's been crazy. It's been cool. You know, I'm just like walking and doing stand-up and like camping and crying and no, I'm just kidding. I don't think I've actually had a big meltdown yet. It's coming. I'm sure it's coming.
My favorite part of a good show isn't the audience laughing. It's when they're completely silent and they're anticipating the next word that's going to come out of your mouth. This was like the complete opposite of that.
Oh my God. It's not a selfie if someone else is taking it. No, you gotta get up here with us.
It was like I had lost all sense of control. It's like chaos.
I'm killing right now.
I was the silent one, actually. It's just the worst feeling. So I'm 2.5 months into the walk, and I just did the most stand-up that I've done so far on the road. Now I'm actually gonna be going through a part where it's even more in the middle of nowhere than I've been, which was pretty scary. What would stand-up be like there? How far would that be where I'd be walking on trails without speaking to anyone?
Each day you realize there's just two things. You're either alive or you're this. There's no in between. Alive or dead.
It's not exactly the vision that I had for my very important Netflix special. I definitely had thought that this would be this really cathartic experience. At this point, it was not that. It was just me trying to get through each day without giving up. But then another option happened.
My sister's having a baby! And I'm driving to Nashville right now. I just rented a car in Columbus. I'm like 5 hours away. Hang on, baby back.
Take your time. We got no place to run. I will be your lucky one.
It was just nice and cozy. And it was much better than being out on the road night after night by myself. I just stayed for a little bit.
And we have a special guest, Jessica Watkins.
Hello.
She's a comedian that's from here in Nashville originally, who is embarking on a walking tour where she's doing stand-up along the way. And I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. You just hop on a bus from Ohio and head here?
I rented a car so I could bring all my gear with me.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I'm pushing a cart. I forgot to mention that.
Oh,
yeah,
you're pushing.
Yeah, I needed to look more homeless, so.
Oh.
I came here because my nephew was born, and he's so little and so cute, and it's gonna make it so hard to tell these abortion jokes I'm about to tell. Just kidding. I'm not gonna. I've never had an abortion, I'm kidding. Never had one, but I would have one with a little baby's heartbeat. I'm not ready right now.
I grew up right down the street from here in East Nashville. My grandparents moved there like a long time ago. Okay, they were like 20, so they knew the area. You know, like this place is gonna turn around. Just give it like 6 or 7 decades. This is gonna really. There's gonna be a lot of coffee shops. Yeah. I distinctly remember right after I'd done this interpretive Dr. Dolittle performance for a book report. My teacher, Miss Anthony, she was like, you're going to be an actor when you grow up. Like, I was like, wow, I had never considered that this could be an option for me, you know, that's crazy, an actor. And if I could find her today, I would think, like, Miss Anthony, that's not an option, okay? Don't tell people that, all right? It's not a viable career option. Why? Tell me that.
When I was 18, I moved out to California. I went to LA, and I hadn't lived in Nashville ever since. It was comforting to be there, but there were also kind of these lingering memories that I have there.
Hanging out with the family.
Bad memories.
Make me laugh, Jessica. Now! You're a failure!
You sound like Mom.
Good job.
All of a sudden, I'm back at the place that I've been fleeing, or that I fled as soon as I was old enough to.
I think about all the crazy people out there all the time, and there's always the possibility that anybody could do something to you, and we never know where you were or who it was, and that's what I'm afraid of.
When I was 15, I was sexually assaulted in Nashville. And although I've dealt with that, I went to therapy for years and I've moved on in a lot of ways. Being back there kind of brought up these old feelings.
It's very nostalgic being back here.
Compared to the shitty open mics and sleeping in random places, this was an improvement. And then my sister invited me to go to Florida. There was pina coladas, I'm grilling things, I'm having donuts and coffee on the beach in the mornings. And now I'm on a vacation. This is slightly off the American Discovery Trail, a little bit. So I'm standing at the shore, and I wasn't supposed to be singing Ocean that soon. And I realized maybe this is what quitting looks like. It had been weeks since I'd done stand-up. It had been weeks since I'd been walking. Why was I doing this?
Jessica Watkins is a New York-based stand-up comedian, actress, and filmmaker. After 6 years in California, she headed to NYC to focus on developing her stand-up act. On April 13, 2014, she embarked on a grand adventure with plans to cover over 1,000 miles on foot across America. 1,000 miles on foot, pushing a cart.
If I wasn't gonna quit, if I was gonna get back on the road, if I was gonna continue this trip forward, this was gonna have to be a new walk. No plan, no rules. I just gotta go. I'm gonna have to go off my own rules and just fucking go for it. So I had a decision to make. Do I go back to Ohio to prove that I walked every inch of America, or do I start right here in Nashville?
I'm walking across America right now.
Literally?
And I don't know if I should start from Nashville or if I should go back to Ohio. Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Well, if I were walking across the country, it wouldn't matter where I started. As long as it's one side, I walk from there to the other side.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever gone through Kansas before? It's an endless plain of just nothingness.
Tennessee it is.
Best of luck,
Thank you.
and God bless you in the name of Jesus Christ.
Thank you.
Be careful,
I will.
because pretty girls is walking.
It's crazy.
I'm going through the South, this area where, although I grew up there, there are people that see the world differently than I do. What were these people gonna think of my comedy?
The thing about the South is we care about the human life down here, so it's different. We're pro-life, so we care about the human life. We're against abortion, but we're for the death penalty. That's the thing. Against abortion, but for killing someone who might have killed someone else. I mean, by that theory, you should really be for my abortion, because that kid would have totally killed my social life. Am I right? Ladies, let's go out. Just kidding. I've never had an abortion. It's just a joke. Never had one, but I would have one, a little baby's heartbeat. Just not ready to have a kid right now. Too dark. Okay, so anyways. Walking.
It's the Bible Belt. It's very religious. Here I am telling some pretty questionable jokes.
I went through a pretty solid Jesus phase when I was 16, which I think we can agree is the worst of all the phases that you can go through. But it sticks with you, and you see it. It sticks with you. Even in this last election, I would I asked myself, who would Jesus vote for? And the answer is no one. He can't. He's not an American. It's a common misconception in the South. Jesus is not an American. No. The South is weird, though, because I feel like people in the South would get more behind abortion if instead of saying aborting a fetus, we said deporting a fetus. They're really behind deportions. Like, no, it's not an abortion, it's a deportion. You see this baby enter my body illegally. I'm gonna go ahead and deport it up to heaven, okay?
I just had to throw away that fear and caring what these people were going to think about me, and I was going to have to respond truthfully, no matter what it was, no matter what the subject.
How you doing, Jessica?
Hello, happy to be here.
How the feet? You doing all right?
The feet are holding up.
Jessica's walking across the country doing stand-up comedy.
Yeah, about that, I have a very crucial question that needs to be asked.
Yes,
during your walk across the country, how many times have you been raped and murdered?
And this was live on air. It was one of those moments where you had the chance to react, and I kind of said the thing that I wanted to say. And that felt different for me.
No, I've been rape-free now for almost 10 years. So
But is it not scary?
You know, it's like anything else, you know? I mean, it can be scary. Like, there are crazy people out there. Sometimes they do have guns. Most of the time, those are police officers, though.
The way they talked about rape was as if it was something that hadn't crossed my mind. And the truth was, it was something that crossed my mind every day. It crossed my mind since it happened to me when I was 15. And I spent all of the time since then trying to not think about it, not remember it. And the way to get beyond it is not to shut down or run away. It's to face things head on and to try and trust again.
And Tennessee was a great state to go through. I get a message, someone's like, hey, we got a place you can stay and a plane you can jump out of. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds cool. So this guy, he's gonna take me to the skydiving place. He's like, hey, before we go, let's go visit my brother real quick. And we're kind of meandering up this mountain, and I totally lose cell service, and I realize at that point that I have no idea who I'm with, where I'm at. Like, this is probably the beginning of my Lifetime movie. You know, it's gonna start with the death scene on the top of the mountain. And they'll be like, why did you do that? Oh, needed attention, got it. And we get to the top of this mountain, and there is just a big abandoned barn on the top of this mountain, and his brother is sitting in a lawn chair staring off into the woods, which is always a good sign. Like, he was looking at nothing, but he was seeing something. You know what I mean? Something was there. His brother's like, you going to the barn yet? I was like, have not done that. I'm excited to do it. Let's do it. Let's get in there. So I get in the barn, they're distilling moonshine. I'm like, all right, this is cool. I will take some moonshine, please. This will make my death easier. So I'm just sipping moonshine. They take me back into a further room where there's a large round bed. The kind of round bed that you don't want to see when you're in a barn alone with other men. Then a third guy enters, and he comes over, and he's really excited to meet me. He like shoves his book in my hands, and he wants me to look at all these dragons that he's been drawing. For what appears to be decades. So I'm just flipping through, drinking my moonshine, and then the guy I'm with goes over and he opens up a safe and he pulls out a bunch of cocaine and he starts weighing it out in front of me. And he's like, I don't know why, I just trust you. And now I tell this story on stage, so clearly he's a very poor judge of character. I mean, I'm in the South, I'm not rude. You know, you do a little coke. You don't die, you do a little more. And then he's like, all right, let's go skydiving.
Do you have anything you want to tell your family?
I love you. Sorry I never had children.
Say bye.
I just decided to go with things and say yes and not get in my head about it and wonder what was going to happen. It felt like this balance between being in control and totally out of control. In each of those moments where I gave in to the unknown or threw the plane out the window, when something really cool would happen, that feeling was, it was almost like when I do stand-up. So I'm out there on the road, got this new sense of freedom, I'm giving in to the unknown, and then I got a visitor. Yay! My mom. And she brought all kinds of gear, coffee maker, air mattresses, tents. She brought me weed. That was good. It's like a hoarding campsite. Look, we'd lived there for years. She's gonna give me support. So I would walk and she would bring me water throughout the day. You know, it was really gonna be super helpful to me. But I don't know if it was quite worth it. Come tell the camera about your camping experience.
Arkansas is a beautiful state, full of rice fields and wheat fields and oat fields and big mosquitoes. Very friendly people and big mosquitoes. Very friendly people and big mosquitoes. Very beautiful rice fields and big mosquitoes.
I've been camping with my mom for, I think it's been an eternity now. I think I might lose my mind. And I know that people say that about their parents, but legitimately it's been quite difficult. It's sort of like a scared straight program, like you see what your life could be.
Jessica is a slave driver. She is holding me to task, and she will not let me sleep in a hotel room for at least 1 week. Even though they have very big mosquitoes.
My mom, everything is just kind of about her, you know? And she's very loud, and she chain smokes cigarettes, and she talks too much to strangers. She says inappropriate things.
And if it weren't for the mosquitoes, it would be a very enjoyable trip. And it's still an enjoyable trip.
Speak for yourself.
Maybe I do have a couple of those qualities, I guess. Possibly. This whole walk was about me taking things to the next level. And my mother was this anchor. Seeing this future that could be mine. And that was not part of the freeing feeling I was looking for. No matter where you walk, how far you go, I'm still gonna be my mother. A week later, she was gone. She didn't die. She just went back to Nashville. I was like, I needed to forget that, and I could get back to where I was. My mom spent a week with me on the road, and she is fucking crazy. And I fear I'm a lot like her, and that is terrifying. Oh, anyways, just got chills thinking about it. But, just kidding. Love you, Mom.
Studio with us right now, Jessica Watkins, who is walking across America. She's a stand-up comedian, bringing awareness to herself. I love that.
Just plugging yourself. What about restrooms and showers?
Do you tote a weapon?
I have bear spray.
Guys, I'm like 1,200 miles in. Now I'm just freeballing it, you know? I'm just figuring out as I go. What? You're walking across America wearing a shirt for a dress and you smoke pot? That's crazy. That is crazy. There's like delayed laughter in the back. Am I echoing?
Every day I write you something, nothing that I have done. Like I'm my computer around the house.
And things were going really well. I was getting into a groove.
Slow it down a little bit, guys. Slow down a little bit. We're doing a haiku here. 575. Wake up in my tent. Walk, 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 walk. Smoke weed, yeah. Smoke weed. Thanks, guys. I'm Jessica Watkins. I'll be here every Monday. Just kidding. I will never be here again, probably, but
I was giving into this new idea and throwing away old jokes and just going off the cuff with the audience. Maybe this was it. Maybe this was the walk.
I thought I was a lesbian when I was 16, and I thought I was a lesbian because I played competitive softball for 10 years of my life. And I like to wear sports bras, and I like to fix stuff, and I love to eat pussy. Maybe. Yeah. Turns out I just hated God. But,
The more I gave in to the unknown, and the more I just gave in to continuing forward, really cool things would happen.
I'm in Texas. I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm about to have to walk on the freeway. And this freeway is like 4 lanes on either side. The speed limit is 80 miles an hour, and I'm in Texas, so that means however the fuck fast you want to go. For days leading up, I was very nervous about this particular stretch. I took a deep breath. Right as I'm about to push my cart onto the on-ramp, I see in the distance this like dust coming. It gets closer and closer, and this guy pulls up in front of me. I'm like, hey, I'm Jessica. He was like, hey, I'm Jesse. I'm like, oh, I'm walking across America. He was like, I was walking across America. Someone gave me this scooter. Now I am scooting across America.
Did you have a thing, like a reason?
I just want to encourage everybody to get out there and do an adventure, you know? Like, look at this. Like, I walked 400 miles, like, out of my house with this backpack and this stuff. And, like, I got a scooter out of it. Like, are you kidding me? It's freaking awesome.
Yeah, that's great. You just got to go with it, right?
Yeah. If that road actually ended up, you know, taking me where I needed to be, I would never have met you.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's crazy.
He walked with me down the highway. This just seemed like the universe was telling me, you're going the right way.
So far, so good. I think it's good.
And And then I get this phone call. It's about a gig in New Mexico at a casino to do 45 minutes of stand-up. That is more comedy than I've ever done before. The longest that I've done is like 20 minutes. I mean, this is the real deal. That's how long pro comedians perform when they're at clubs. This was like check, check, check.
So nice to meet you, man.
Bye! I call Alejandro to tell him the news. He was thrilled for me. This is exactly what we've been working toward. I wished he could be there, but it's like out in the middle of nowhere. I was still super excited about the show.
I'm in the middle of nowhere. So, spirit-eyed dance. Know what I mean?
Did I have 45 minutes of material? I did not. That's okay. I had time. I had so much time. I'm walking.
45 minutes. I've got to do 45 minutes. I can do it. Gotta build a set. Let's build a set. Got nothing but time. Time to build a set.
You know, I've done maybe 15 minutes or 20 minutes before, so that's just like 2 or 3 of those sets put together. There's 45 minutes of material there. I just have to figure out what it is. Should be too hard.
I used to be a waiter. Not anymore, I quit 3 days ago. I'll be back in a week when I decide this is too hard. I feel ready. I think
You can do this. You got this. I got my own room. It's gonna get paid. This was essentially what I was on the walk to do.
You guys have some like big acts coming here. I saw Merle Haggard is playing in a week. That was surprising because I thought he was dead. I love him. I'm from Nashville, man, but I just thought he was dead. Which was a surprise.
And normally I would, you know, be trying to write as many jokes as I could, but I had so many stories from the road. I had met so many cool people. I was just gonna get on stage and tell people about what was happening. I was gonna stop trying to plan it so much and give in to the universe. And the universe would be funny.
Like Bob Dylan, he's the kind of artist I feel like I would have liked him more if he would have just died a long time ago. You know what I mean? At the peak of things. That's kind of how I feel about my mom. Like, man, if you would have just died before I knew what mothers were supposed to be like, I'd have such fond memories. Okay, just kidding, that's about my mom. Any moms here?
But soon into it, I realized the universe, not that funny.
And the cool thing is that nothing will push you to do something like the fear of what other people will think of you if you fail. You know what I mean? Like now with social media, we really set it up. I'm like, I'm walking across America 80 miles in. Like, well, we'll see how the knee turns out. We'll see how that goes. But you had to. I had to keep going. I couldn't. What was I going to do? Retire from Facebook? Like, I need to do this. I have to do this for other people? Yes. Thank you. Thank you. What's your name, ma'am? Her name's... boy, if I got murdered after this set, it would just be so ironic, right? It would really make my documentary... It would bring it to the next level. So, if any of you are considering it, just do it.
We're at a casino, so we know the median age is gonna be up there. And we're in New Mexico. We're in the middle of nowhere in a casino on an Indian reservation. So I knew the crowd was gonna be mixed. But I felt good about it. I felt strong about it. I felt,
I was trying to tell myself that the show went well, because that's what you have to do. And you just keep moving on. And it was nice, actually, to get back on the road.
Today's a big day for my boyfriend, Alejandro. He's in a big jazz competition. I gotta find Wi-Fi so I can watch it, because I can watch it live. So I got a few hours to make that happen.
In any other circumstance, I would have been there. It was very emotional to see him play. I'm sad, but it's not sad for the reason that I would have thought. I wasn't sad because I wasn't there. I was sad because I was okay with not being there. That was maybe one of the things I was letting go of.
There's 2 beer cans here, so obviously someone else thought this was a good spot. You're really supposed to wait till the sun goes down. Sun's not down yet. I'm just right by the freeway. I'm a little nervous. I didn't think I was gonna make it to the town I was going to by the time it got dark, but it turns out it takes longer to get dark than I thought. So,
And then I get this call from home. My grandfather, my papa, is very sick. They were doing an emergency surgery and they weren't sure if he was going to be okay. If I want to see him again, I should probably go home. Within 10 hours from getting that phone call in the middle of nowhere, I was in Nashville.
Run on, Molly, run. Run on, Molly, run.
This man was a huge figure in my life. He moved to Nashville when he was 13 to make it as a country music songwriter, just like me leaving home. So we always had that kindred connection.
You ready?
He would tell me stories from the road, and it made me want that adventure.
Forget and forgive was my promise.
the last time you cheated, dear. But you're gone again with someone new. It's always the same old thing with you.
Once again, it felt crazy to leave the walk, but I wouldn't miss seeing Papa one last time.
You promise forever to be true. But it's always the same old thing with you.
From the beginning of my walk, when I would meet different cross-country travelers, they would mention this place called Pie Town. And it's just this hiker, biker haven. The only thing they have is a pie shop. There was supposed to maybe be other people there hiking and biking, and normally I guess there would be, but it was Thanksgiving and I was all alone in this big cabin. There's no indoor running water, there was no Wi-Fi, there was just me, a bunch of old cassette tapes, and these fires that I had to keep going because it was very cold at the time. I was at a low. 5 years after my assault, I was in Nashville visiting family, and I was in this bar, and I see this guy from across the bar, and I realize that's the guy who raped me. And I immediately want to leave. And right before I walk out the door, something told me to turn around. And instead of running away, I walked up to him. And I said, hey, I don't know if you remember this, but you raped me. And he said, yeah, I did. And there was an exchange, and then he kind of got upset, and he said, I was just third in line. His nonchalance and the way that he so clearly didn't care, that definitely made me realize that I did not matter to him. And processing that, made me realize maybe that's what I had been doing this whole time, was just trying to prove that I did matter, or trying to convince myself that I mattered. Moved to LA to be a movie star, moved to New York to be a big stand-up comedian, or walk across America to prove that I matter. Maybe none of this matters. And maybe that was okay. And maybe being here in this moment alone was where I needed to be.
I was flipping through this book where people that have been traveling in here sign. And look who it is. Such a beautiful thing to give travelers, a warm feeling of family and home. I hope one day I may get back such a gift you give. This town is a hidden jewel. Thank you again, Jesse and Pup Adiana.
I'm broke. This is the great makings of any country song. I'm broke. I'm unemployed. Fucked my cousin. Just kidding. Didn't fuck my cousin. I don't know where I'm going, but I do know where I've been. I've been walking for about 7 months now. 1,600 miles by foot. I think the cabin's making me go a little crazy. I'm lonely, but free. I'm homesick, but right where I'm supposed to be. I know the world keeps moving on, but I'm stuck in the moment. I'm lonely, but free. I'm homesick, right where I'm supposed to be. Okay. Bye-bye, Toaster House. I'm lonely, but free. I'm homesick, and right where I'm supposed to be. I know the world keeps moving on, but I'm stuck in the moment, and I can't let go. So I'm out of Pie Town, and a woman starts coming up the road, and she's pushing a cart that looks very similar to mine. And I was just like, "Hi, I'm Jessica." Her name was Nora. I was like, "What are you doing?" And she said, "Well, I'm walking across America."
I had months to figure out the cart's details.
She had just started. She had way too much stuff in her cart. She really was the old version of me.
1.
And all of a sudden I felt like I was seeing the walk in a new perspective. One that Nora maybe hadn't got to yet, but I had.
Super beautiful. Very beautiful here. Yeah, the mountains, the trees, the colors.
I don't really care what people are thinking about me. I don't care about throwing my tent up on the side of the road. I don't care how homeless I look. I'm just gonna get to the end of this walk.
Good morning, America. I'm ready to walk across here today.
I know my place in your backseat, like a little kid.
We're on our way to our next town, Quamato. Quamato? 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 Kumato? 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 22 miles. 22 miles. I'm obviously lost my mind, so I'm feeling good.
I had found a new rhythm, and it felt like I was letting go of something that had been holding me back.
We got motherfucking cacti, people. People honking. Fucking crazy day, man. It's a crazy day.
And then everything started to shift. How much I was covering miles, how quickly I was walking. The fear of where I was gonna stay each night dissipated. My longest day I had was 32 miles, and that was another rule I'd set for myself, that I wouldn't walk in the dark. It's like, fuck it, I'm gonna finish this day. I just was on this new path. On that stretch in Arizona, I think it was about 5 days that I was walking with no towns or anything in between, just camping on the side of the road. And again, the universe will like tell you what it wants to tell you. I was walking up these crazy mountains, there's like cactus everywhere. And I'm walking down this road and I see what appears to be an unopened pack of cigarettes, and I look, and it is. I was like, yeah, the universe is telling me to smoke. Picked those up, started smoking. Scary.
Cigarette turns you from hiker to homeless lady. She's not hiking. She's clearly looking for a home.
And as I'm smoking this cigarette, looking out, I realize I'm kind of like my mom right now. And maybe that's all right. She's kind of badass. She's unapologetic for who she is. She's not afraid of what other people think about her. Maybe that's kind of cool.
I had dreams about my dog last night. Ugh, Tiki. Oh. Oh. It works twice. They moved back. Really? I wanted to speak with the animals.
It felt like something had shifted for me. Something had changed. I don't really care what people are thinking about me as they travel down the road. I don't really care if people like me. But I do care if they laugh. I still really want to make people laugh.
Please put your hands together for Jessica Watkins.
But even if they don't, that's okay. I'm just gonna have fun.
I've been walking for 8 months. I walked 1,700 miles to get here. Thank you. So I am better than better than all of you.
Were they going to like me? Were they going to, be the biggest fan of Jessica who walked across America? Kind of. It didn't matter.
Someone on a radio show I did, they're like, you made it all the way across America and you haven't been raped? I was like, nope, not since that first time 10 years ago. I'm pretty good on this trip. You look like you're dying. I'm not though, it's all good. Hopefully I won't die. If you see me on the side of the street, honk and pull over a little bit. The girl with the neon vest pushing a cart down the road. Thank you ladies, have a good night. They're going right now. Ever since I mentioned the pussy thing, they just can't keep their minds off of it. Get to it, girls. Then you're nearing the end. Getting into California. People kept warning me about the end. People I met along the way, people who had done similar adventures were warning me about the end. If you need anyone, call me. If you need anything, let me know. And I didn't know what that was. Like, I don't know what that... No, I'm gonna be fucking stoked. I mean... the grass is always greener kind of thing. I mean, when I was walking, all I could envision was like, man, I just want to be in New York and like going to open mics and going to coffee shops and like sitting down. Great.
But the closer I got to the ocean, the closer I got to the finish line, these feelings started to creep in a little bit.
I'm in California. This is it. Where it all started. I told myself if I wasn't making money in the biz with between 6 months and a year after graduating from school, I would move on. Look at me now. I feel a little anxiety because I'm almost done. I feel a little disappointed in myself. Like I played it safe. I didn't really go for it.
Hi. My name's Ted, and I live here at this RV resort.
It's weird. You get like in something and you kind of let it consume you in a way you forget that there's other things out there. I've still got my life.
When this is over, I'm going back to where I started, back to New York. What would my job be like? What were my friends up to? The comedy scene, all these things, I was starting to wonder if they were going to be different. Of my relationship. What would that be like?
Can you believe it?
Can she believe it?
Tiki! Oh my god, Tiki. Can you believe it, Tiki?
Alejandro, he wasn't going to make it to the finish line. And I was okay with that. For 8 months, I had envisioned this feeling of how that would feel to actually make it to the Pacific Ocean. And I was getting close.
Here we are. I want to explain how I feel, but I can't. I think I can just show it with my face. I'm so excited. I smell the ocean. And the breeze is blowing. I know I'm getting close. It's a warm day. This is it. Home stretch. That wasn't so bad. No big deal. I could do it again. I could walk 2,000 miles in a heartbeat. No prob.
I had always envisioned this final moment, the final scene of the walk. I make it to the ocean and there's a sea of people, news cameras, old friends. Of course, I would plunge into the ocean and it would be a baptism of sorts. Right before I did that, I would say this amazing thing. And I was trying to figure out what that amazing thing was going to be.
She made it!
What did you learn? What was the epiphany? What was the lesson? I really didn't know. It was such a mix of different things. It was almost undescribable.
She had to get to the flashlight. She had to get to the other side.
The goal is for this aha moment, the epiphany, what it all means. But the lesson was not that specific. It was much more broad and general, and it was almost like a feeling more than anything else. It was just something where everyone else seemed the same. Going back to New York and going back to life as it were, nothing had really changed. But something had changed within me. I just walked for 9 months and I transformed. My comedy is different. I'm different. I mean, everything won't be different, but
you get back and you're just back to the same world that you were in before you left. And I was back at the restaurant and people did notice though. They were like, they're like, you were gone for a while, weren't you? I was like, yeah, I walked across America. And they were like, no, I said, is my food ready? Yeah, it is, I'll get that.